Something happened this week that has my hair on fire, and I am sounding the alarm. The United States Department of Education just announced it's teaming up with, dear God help us, Moms for Liberty, PragerU, the Heritage Foundation, Turning Point USA, and Hillsdale College to lead what they're calling patriotic education. The federal government is legitimizing groups whose entire mission has been to push a hard-right, revisionist version of history. These are organizations that fight to ban books, silence teachers, and erase lessons about systemic racism, the brutality of slavery, and the genocide of Native Americans. What they want is a version of America that is flawless, untouchable, where questioning power is treated as unpatriotic. Don't fall for their line of crap. This isn't about the 250th anniversary of the United States. This is the rollout of a hard-right political agenda. It matches the education chapter of Project 2025 almost word for word. You remember Project 2025, right? The conservative playbook the Heritage Foundation wrote for Trump's return to power? And now, we're watching it being put into action. We know where this leads. Authoritarian regimes throughout history have always started with education. In Nazi Germany, in the Soviet Union, in dictatorships across the globe, controlling what kids are taught was the first step to controlling how citizens think. If you can rewrite the past, you can control the future. And it gets worse. And I'm not exaggerating. This is straight from the Department of Education's own proposed rule in the Federal Register. They define patriotic education as accurate, honest, unifying, inspiring, and ennobling characterization of the American founding and foundational principles. A clear examination of how the United States has admirably grown closer to its noble principles throughout its history. Hello? Am I in a fever dream? They're requiring the story of America to be unifying and ennobling, and to show how this country has admirably grown closer to its noble principles. What in the hell are they talking about? Have they ever read a history book not written by the United Daughters of the Confederacy? That's not teaching real history. That's a demand that no matter what atrocity you're teaching, whether it be slavery, the Trail of Tears, Japanese internment camps, the conclusion has to be America is noble. America is justified. That is the very definition of indoctrination. And let me tell you this, as a teacher, the moment they tell me I have to teach bullshit fake history, I quit. I will not stand in front of my students and lie. Because the second classrooms become propaganda factories, education in such classrooms becomes meaningless. This is serious. Once the standards are rewritten, once textbooks are reprinted, once federal funding is tied to programs that promote only one version of history, the damage doesn't just last for 4 years. It lasts generations. Students grow up not even knowing what parts of history were erased. This is a 5-alarm fire, and I don't even know if it can be stopped, but I'll be damned if I don't speak out against this regime's attempt to rewrite history. And I need all of you to speak out as well. Parents, teachers, students, all of us. Demand that schools tell the truth. Support teachers who come under attack. Push back relentlessly on every attempt to sanitize the story of America. Real patriotism isn't blind obedience. Real patriotism is accountability. It's facing the truth, even when that truth is ugly, and working to make this country live up to its promises. That's what I teach my students, and that's what they're trying to silence. Education should never be a tool of propaganda. It should be liberation. And the fight for truth in our classrooms is an important part of the fight for democracy itself. Support the truth. Support your teachers. Support real history, please. I can't even friggin' believe this.